Hello, everybody, and welcome to your third episode of Butterscotch Rewatch. If you're joining us from the other two episodes, we want to welcome you back and thank you for listening and watching.
Mhm.
If you are just joining us, you're in for quite a ride.
For sure.
Today's episode, we are going to be going over Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which is a cult classic. Not everybody has seen it. It was made in 1988. Directed by, here I go with my names again, directed by Stephen Chiodo. God. And it was written by Stephen, his brother Charles, and Edward as well. So
A family affair.
it was definitely a family affair.
Love
They
it.
produced it and everything. This was all of them. And it is starring Grant Kramer as Mike Tobacco. Yes, that's right. His last name's Tobacco. Suzanne Snyder as Debbie Stone. John Allen Nelson as Officer Dave Hansen. Very nice. And John Vernon as Officer Curtis Mooney, who you may know from Animal House. He was Dean Wormer from Animal House, in case you're wondering, where's that guy from? That's where he is.
Who is that guy?
Who's that guy?
Who is that guy?
I know that guy. Yeah, how many of you people will watch a movie with somebody and you go, oh, and you grab your IMDb and you're like, I knew it, that's the guy from so-and-so. And then everybody watching the film with you is like,
Shut up. I don't care.
Ireland
No, that's
and I
both
are
of
those
us.
Yes. We literally will grab our phones at the same time and be like, it's that guy.
Yeah, no, I know that guy. And my boyfriend's like, put your phone away. What's wrong with you? I don't care. I just want to watch the movie. I don't need to know the other 32 films this man was in and the music video.
If you're wondering what I'm doing, we'll get to that part of the movie of why I look like I do. This is not my everyday attire.
It is, though. Don't lie to the people.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, it is definitely what I go for all the time. If you've seen the movie before, you know what this is, including the straw. And if you have not seen the movie before, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started into this super masterpiece of a movie.
Very eccentric. Love what we're doing here today.
Okay, so it opens up on a small town, and we start hearing the song Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And it kind of pans on down to this town on a Friday night. It starts with Big Top Burger and then kind of goes through all the what the teenagers are doing, what the high school teenagers are doing. One of them's buying beer, you could see, and he's got it in a brown paper bag and he's trying to hide it from the policeman and walking across the street. And other people are out and about doing things. And then we go to the top of the world, which is the makeout spot for the teenagers. And we kind of pan over everybody in their vehicles. And we get to Mike and Debbie. And
here's what I have about Debbie and Mike. Okay, so we're in like makeout point, right? And it's like panning all of the teenagers, well, teenagers that look like they're 30, but they're teenagers in the 80s. And Mike and Debbie are literally in the back of the car and they're drinking champagne. It's literally a bottle of like cooked champagne, and then they have like not the flutes but like the margarita almost glasses of it for the champagne to go into. So not only are they drinking champagne in the back of the car, but they are also bringing the glasses to put champagne in. Like I thought, like, okay, maybe you're bringing wine or champagne, whatever, and you're drinking it straight out the bottle. No, they brought like flutes to put in the champagne. Now, the second beef I have with Mike and Debbie is not only are they drinking champagne, which is fine, like very classy night, you know, all the teenagers are making out next to you. They are also in the back of Mike's car in a like a life raft, like an inflatable life
yellow raft. Yes.
Yeah, like nothing says romance like an inflatable life raft in the back of your PT Cruiser or whatever kind of hatchback that guy was driving.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of car that was. Yes, but he was trying to kill it with that raft and the champagne.
And Debbie is a catch.
That was in his glove compartment. It was in his glove compartment. He's like, hey, babe, open that glove compartment. I got some warm-ass champagne in there.
Yes.
And she's all like, oh, yeah, that sounds great. So Mike and Debbie are in their raft and they start making out and everything. And we hear an ice cream truck. We hear music from the ice cream truck. And they come flying down and they're like saying all suggestive stuff like, come get your popsicles, your just all these different kind of
You
ice
know,
cream.
they're high school boys. They are saying
Yes.
some innuendos with ice cream and all that stuff.
Yep. And Debbie's like, what the heck's going on? And Mike's like, oh my God, those are my friends, the Terenzi brothers. They're hilarious. so
Oh
so
god.
they're
They are
driving.
hilarious.
Yes. So they're driving this ice cream around by the makeout points or the top of the world. And everybody's like, get out of here. They're throwing beer cans at them and everything and just get out of here, get out of here. And they're like, aw, and they go into they pan into the ice cream truck with the two brothers, and these two girls come out of the back, and they're like, the brothers are like, let's go ahead and park, and the girls go, they come out with like, I think they were like the bullet pops or something. That's what they look like,
Mhm.
the popsicles, and they're like, hey, you said we could have all the ice cream we wanted. You didn't say anything about parking. And then the one brother goes, all right. The girls are like, we want to go home. And he's like, fine, fine, keep your shirt on. And the one girl goes, I intend to.
Yeah, girl. What are we doing? Do not get in
Okay.
the ice cream trucks with strangers, okay?
Okay, Julie. Cool. All right. We know you're not taking your
Please.
top. Yeah. Yeah, you're good. You just keep eating your
Everybody
ice
keep their
cream.
clothes on, please.
Yes.
Please.
Uh, and so as Debbie and Mike are making out, they see a comet fly by. And they're like, whoa, what was that? And it looks like it lands somewhere in the, like, pretty close by. So, of course, Debbie's like, we need to check that out. And Mike's like, it's nothing. It's just a whatever shooting star or something like that. So then after we see the comet go by, we see it like it cuts to a farmer on his he's so cute. A farmer
Literally adorable.
on his porch, just in his rocking chair with his old bloodhound dog, whose name is Pooh Bear.
So cute.
The cutest thing. Anyways, so what does the farmer decide to do once he sees the comet come by?
Oh, he wants to go check it out. Of
Mm-hmm.
course.
Yeah.
So, the first thing I have to say about this farmer, he is adorable and he is having full on conversations with his bloodhound dog, like fully intending him to respond back. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
like having a full on conversation. Honestly, I have never felt so seen as a dog owner because I have full on conversations with my dog all the time.
Me too.
So I love following him and like this dog around, and he does wander out to the field. And in this field, he sees almost like a big top, like the circus tent
Mm-hmm.
outline in the open field. So he's just checking it out. And then all of a sudden, he turns around and he's not really paying attention to Pooh Bear anymore. And Pooh Bear just disappears into thin air. Dog is gone. He's like, gone.
Yeah.
So the farmer's like looking around, like, oh my God. And again, never related so much because if my dog ever just disappeared in it there, he's like, oh, whoever did this, I'm going to get you. Like, I am not leaving until I get my dog back and blah, blah, blah. And he's like starting to like shake the circus tent and everything. And then when he's shaking the bars of the circus tent, he ends up becoming like almost electrocuted because of all of the charge and all that stuff.
Mm.
So he's kind of getting harmed while doing all this. And then obviously Pooh Bear doesn't come back, which is the saddest part of the movie. I don't know where he went. It's so sad. And then it kind of ends with that farmer in that scene when we first see a clown kind of come
Mm-hmm.
up. And then, like the first of many, but the very first one, which ugly clowns,
Very.
then we'll eventually kind of get him with the little cotton candy gun. And then we never see him again.
Yeah. Well, put a pin in that because we will see him again. Um, but it's one of those look quick, otherwise you're gonna miss it kind of
Yes.
things. Um, so then we're gonna cut to the police station and we see Officer Curtis Mooney, who would be Dean Wormer from uh, Animal House. Real cranky, hates teenagers. They're
Mm-hmm.
all punks and just absolutely just hates them, like cannot stand them whatsoever. And he just wants to put them all in jail and just get rid of them all. Like he literally has no love for anybody that's a young teenager or young adult, anything like that. And he comes in and he has arrested two, as he calls them, punks. And they look like they're like punk rockers. They got like the punk rocker jacket on and
And
everything,
the hair.
and the hair. And he's like, "Oh, I'm putting you guys away." And he, arrests them and puts them in the holding cell. And then once he puts the punks into the jail, we also get to introduced to Dave Hansen, who's the other officer, and he's this like young, good-looking,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
He's cute.
guy. Yeah, he's very cute. He's the other officer that's on duty, and he's like, "Oh, you shouldn't be so hard on everybody." He's like, "I hate punks. I want to put them all away." And so that's when we get introduced to Dave, who will be important in the future.
Yes.
And then it cuts to Mike and Debbie again, and Debbie's all in for looking for that comet. She just wants to
Mhm.
know, and Mike's like, "Okay, fine, all right." So they go looking for it, and they see that it's a big top, and they're like, he's like, "That's weird. It's a circus. I don't remember a circus coming into town." So they're looking around, and they find an opening, and Debbie's like, "This is weird. I don't know if I want to go in." Debbie, listen to your gut.
Oh,
Always
don't
girls
worry, they don't.
girls always listen to your gut.
Yes.
So Mike goes, "Oh no, let's go in and check it out." And she's like, "Okay, I guess so." So she
God.
follows him in this tent, and it looks like a fun house. And they go into one of the doors, and it looks like a big silo, and it has one of those it looks like one of those balls that has electricity. When you touch it, like the electricity
Oh,
goes.
yeah.
I don't know what the
And your
official.
hair starts to, like,
Yes.
expand. Yes,
Yes.
I know
So
exactly what you're talking
I don't know
about.
what that's officially called, but that's what it's just a huge one of those, and they're like, "Ooh." So then they're like, "Let's get out of here." So then they see after they get out of there, they see a clown coming, and they're
Mhm.
like, "Oh shoot." And they go into another door. And this door is full of cotton candy
Ugh.
hanging, cotton candy, and there's like popcorn, there's balloons, and they go kind of check it out. And they're like, "Oh, look at all this cotton candy." And Mike like pulls off a piece of the cotton candy, and we see a bloody face, and that was the
Yeah.
farmer.
It's the old farmer
It's the
man.
farmer man, and
Still no Pooh Bear. We need justice
well,
for Pooh Bear. Oh,
well,
okay.
if you look behind the farmer, there's a smaller cotton candy, which is
Oh.
Pooh Bear. Rip.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that. I
Yeah.
honestly, that's probably for the better because I would have started crying,
Me
so
too. Yeah, I actually
that's
read
so
that. I read that
sad.
afterwards. I was like,
Oh,
"Oh, it's
okay.
a Pooh Bear." I thought maybe he got away or just was one of their animals or something. They just took him with
Oh,
them as
yeah.
like one of their animals. But no,
Oh,
Pooh Bear was in there.
oh God.
And a clown comes in. So they decide to hide. And when Mike like backs up, he runs into like he looks at another cotton candy, and he drops everything because it's one of his friends, Joe
Mhm.
Lombardo.
And they were
And
just with these friends at the
mhm,
top of the world in that
mhm,
makeout point, so
yeah.
it's very, very sad.
Yeah. So of course they make a noise, and the clown's like, "Ooh, what's going on?" So the clown grabs his popcorn gun, and they take off running, and there's other clowns, and they're running out of there. The clown shoots them with the popcorn gun, and the popcorn just sticks all over them, and you can kind of see the popcorn moving a little bit, and you're like, "Oh, that's
Mhm.
weird." And they run into the forest, and then one of the clowns decides that he's going to make a balloon animal of a dog, and like, puts it down, and the dog starts sniffing and can smell the
It
popcorn
starts
to find
barking.
yes, can
No,
find Mike and
I
Debbie.
actually loved that part of the movie. Like, it was funny because it was, like, cut to 5 seconds of the clown just doing this with a balloon. It was not showing them making it at all. And then it literally starts sniffing and, like, barking. Like, you could have just used Pooh Bear for that, but no, it's fine.
Mhm, yeah,
Whatever. But I thought that was kinda cool with that balloon animal. I thought that was a funny little thing there.
yeah. So they're running through the forest. They get to their car. The other clowns are following them, but they make it to the car, and they take off, and they get away for now.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
we see a sign that says Crescent
Our cr
City 5 miles. And who's
Yep.
heading to Crescent City on that 5-mile walk?
Oh, all of the clowns. And you know what? I do love this too, because this transition is crazy. They start playing powerful music in the background too, just like bass power music. And like then one clown starts to walk like an entourage walk, right? Because then they all just
Mhm.
start to join in.
Yeah.
And there's just 50 of these clowns just walking into town. But with this town here, again, they're just gonna mess some stuff up in this town. And we cut back to Mike and Debbie, and they're erratic, obviously, because what they saw. They're basically coming to the police station and explaining to Dave, the hot officer, that they just went through this and they saw dead bodies and they saw the circus and they got shot at by popcorn guns. Dave's like, okay, but he's stuck on the fact that there's dead bodies, so he's obviously not going to
Mhm.
sweep it under the rug.
Mm.
Unfortunately, we know Officer Mooney, the cranky old man, he just is not having it. Again, he's like, these little hooligans are coming in and, just saying some fake stuff just to get our
Mm.
attention and distract us. And like they're young and they're messing around and nothing is
Mhm.
serious. And I think it's so funny because when I initially watched this movie, because I watched it for the first time a couple of days ago, he literally should not have a job because he just goes around and starts roasting everybody. Debbie's like blatantly like, no, I promise you this is what I saw. And he's like, shut up, you little tramp. And then and I'm just like, oh, okay. And then like completely unprovoked, it's like a different transition because Officer Dave is still listening to them about their story and being like, okay, well, where did you see these people? And blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden it cuts back to Officer Mooney at his desk and he's like, listen, you little fart.
He calls Mike a little fart.
I think that's so funny. I'm just like,
I
it's just so
uh,
unprovoked. Like this man is just against the world for sure.
oh,
But
yes.
basically, like from that, he puts two and two together because again, he's talking about like clowns and ice cream and popcorn and basically anything to do with the circus. And he puts two and two together. Well, Officer Mooney does, the creaky old man.
Mhm.
He puts two and two together like, oh, Mike, you're besties with those Terenzi brothers, the ones that were always trying to, get in
Mhm.
trouble with the ice cream truck, and they're clowns because that's
Yeah.
like their brand is the clowns that
Yeah,
sell
they have the
ice
clown
cream.
on top of the ice cream truck,
Yes.
yeah.
And he's like, all right, whatever, Dave, you go ahead, you put yourself out on that line. You're an idiot if you're gonna take this, but whatever. So they kind of end with that until Dave ends up actually listening to them more and takes Mike out.
Yeah, and Dave is definitely entertaining this idea only because it's Debbie who is his ex-girlfriend. So,
Yes.
and I feel like he's still in love with her. And
Oh, for
and well,
sure.
definitely he's only entertaining this because of her. So, when Mooney actually says to Dave, the actual words he says are, "Go ahead, Dave, make a dummy out of yourself, but you're not going to make a dummy out of me." Let's put a pin in that one. We're gonna come
Oh,
back to those
love that.
words
I
that
love
he
that
says.
play.
Yes, yes. Um, and then we're just watching craziness ensue with all these clowns doing different things. I mean, there there was one clown who decides that he sees a gorilla, like an animatronic gorilla outside of a pharmacy that's just doing this. So he decides, well, I'm going to do that too. And he goes and he's just like doing that. And these two teenage girls go and enter to the pharmacy or the drugstore back then, I guess drugstore, to shop. And then it starts cutting to each clown trying to collect people. And we have a clown that's at a gazebo and he's putting on a puppet show, and one guy's watching it and he's like, ha ha ha, that's funny. And he's like, has his arms like this and watching it. And he's like 17 or 18. I
Yeah.
don't know what he's doing at this puppet
Watching
show.
a puppet show at the
Puppet
gazebo. It's literally
show.
just him.
And the puppet show ends up being over and he's like, okay, huh? And then he gets shot with the cotton candy gun. Turns into cotton candy. That's the
Mm-hmm.
end of that guy. So that's at the gazebo. And then we go back to the pharmacy clown who is now inside the pharmacy and he's shopping and he's just grabbing like stuff off and just like throwing it on the ground. He grabs shaving
Mm-hmm.
cream and like sprays it and all that kind of stuff. But then as he passes by, you see the two girls like their heels sticking out of cotton candy. They're also been turned into cotton candy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the poor little pharmacist guy is on the phone with the police, and he is talking to Mooney, and Mooney is okay with him because he's an older gentleman.
Mhm.
And he's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And he's like, there are clowns." And he can't like he's not like talking. He's
Yeah.
clowns, and he's like, "Clowns." And then, and he's like, "Okay." And then the phones just are ringing off the hook. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, my favorite part, like going back into the pharmacy here, my favorite part is when the clown first starts to enter and like it's like a bull in a china shop, right? He literally like touches the smallest thing and then the whole display falls over. So he's just like making a mess and it's just like so random. And while this is happening, the poor clerk at the drugstore is like, excuse me, sir. Um, sir, do you need help? This guy's
Mhm.
literally knocking everything over and he's like, excuse me? Do you need anything? Like,
Yes.
are you
Yes.
guys good? These clowns are just entering Crescent Cove and they're taking over and they're just trying to collect as many people as possible in their little cotton candy cocoon
Yeah.
thing here. Another part here is clowns starting knocking door to door and
Mhm.
exasperating people that way. So the one that was the most random, I thought, was this guy's opening or knocking on the door, and then she answers the door. First of all, she's wearing a slip dress, like a lingerie
Lingerie.
slip
Yeah.
dress, and she's holding like a dirty martini or like wine or something. And she's just like, "Oh, pizza. Is that for me?" He has like 4 pizza boxes in his hand.
It's
And
like
then,
a part of a porno.
no,
"Oh, is that
right.
pizza for
And
me?"
she's like, "Oh." They eventually shoot her with the cotton candy gun, but it's like funny because then another clown pops up out of the 4 pizza boxes,
The lie,
and
yeah,
then
and shoots her.
yes, and then shoots her with the cotton candy gun.
Yeah.
And then another one again going door to door, like they're selling
Mhm.
Girl Scout cookies.
Yes.
He like knocks on the door and he has like a box of chocolates, and it's like an older lady, and she's like,
Um,
"Oh, Harold, is this from you?" Like she turns to her husband, and then
he's
she
like,
gets shot with the
"Huh?"
cotton candy gun.
Yeah. Then
Right.
she's cotton
So it's just
candy.
like it's just so random.
Yeah, it's just a lot of, like, just them just collecting people in funny little
Mhm.
ways. There is one part where they're at Big Top Burger, and you see a clown outside, and there's, like, a little girl eating with, like, her family and some friends,
Oh,
it looks
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Hi," and she's like, "Hi," and he's like, "Come here," and you can see behind him, he's got, like, a big mallet, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, do not even tell me you're gonna hurt this child." Like, I
Right. First
can't.
Pooh Bear,
Yes.
now what
Yeah,
else?
I'm already
Already
upset about
pissed.
yes, I'm already pissed about Pooh Bear. Do not hurt a child. And so of course, her parents are not paying attention whatsoever. So typical 80s parents are
Right,
like,
right.
"We don't know where our kid is." So she's like going and she opens the door ready to come. And then the mom's like, "What are you doing?" Mom
Mm.
saves the day. Mom pays attention just in time
Good
to
job,
close the
mom.
door and say, "Get back in," so daughter is okay. And yay for that. So
Mhm.
yes, that was I was like, "Do not hurt that little girl." I can't take when they hurt animals. Animals are
I
my
know.
biggest thing in any kind of movie. Don't hurt an
Agreed.
animal. I will cry every time. It doesn't
Yeah, it
matter.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then don't hurt kids. Like don't do it. Don't do
Mhm.
it. Then we see Debbie and Mike are going into so
I'm sorry, I just
so
think it's
yes,
so funny. I
I
love this scene.
I remembering the scene, so that's why I'm laughing. So they're going Dave's like, "Okay, we'll get in my car, we'll check it out." Okay, it's great. So
Mhm.
he opens the front door for Debbie, gets in, he tells Mike, "You're sitting in the back." So he opens the back where the criminals sit and puts Mike in there, and the only way Mike can get out is if somebody opens the door for him, and
Mhm.
and then they're like driving, and Debbie and Dave are kind of fighting a little bit. And she's like, "We're not dating anymore." And he's like, "I know, but I still care about you," kind of thing. And Mike's kind of like awkward in the background here.
Mike's in
"Hi."
the back and he's like, "Oh, ex-boyfriend." Like he's like,
Great.
"Oh, of course,
Great.
great."
Yes, great.
Uh
So they drop Debbie off.
Because Officer Dave is like, "No, we're gonna bring you back home so you're nice and safe. Just make sure when you get in, you
Mhm.
lock the door." And of course, Debbie's like, "Hell no, I don't want to go back. I want to go with you guys. I know what I saw." And she's kind of being stubborn.
Mm.
And then this is kind of what starts that argument between the two of them. But then she then agrees to go get dropped off at the house
Yep.
because she had kind of has a secret plan to try to meet them out later.
Mhm. And and then Mike and Dave take off, and Mike's still in the back of the
Still sitting in the
car.
back.
He's
Still
not
sitting
going
in the
anywhere.
back of the car.
He's not going anywhere. And then they get to the part where the tent was, and it's gone. It's completely gone.
Mhm.
And Dave looks at Mike, and he's like, "You're under arrest." You're making this crap up. Mooney was right. You made a fool out of the police
Mm-hmm.
department. You said people were dead. You made false claims." So he handcuffs him, puts him back in the car, in the back of the car,
Yep.
and then they head towards the police station. And in the meantime, there's more clown
With the
stuff.
clowns.
Now here's an interesting. I'm not going to save this to the end because this is kind of like a plot oopsie. So we see a man driving, or a younger
Mm-hmm.
gentleman driving a car, and he's going really fast. And then we see a clown, which looks like he's just driving an invisible car, going as fast as this guy, and he's looking at the clown, and the clown's looking at him, and the
Mm-hmm.
clown rams him off the road, and he falls off a bridge, and the car like kind of blows up a little bit, and then that's what we see of that. Now that scene was supposed to be in the beginning, and that is supposed to be Joe Lombardo.
Oh.
But because of the way the studio wanted it, they wanted
Mm-hmm.
other things, so they just kind of stuck it into there. But
They
that was
wanted
supposed
more
to be,
cotton candy.
yeah, they wanted more like hilarity ensues with the
Mm-hmm.
clowns and the clown montage, so that's what they stuck in there. And another thing was the car was supposed to go and blow up, like mad blow up,
Mm-hmm.
like crazy, but one of the cables that was holding the car like broke, so the explosives didn't go off correctly.
Oh.
So, and they only had enough, they could only do one take, and they can't like mess up the car.
All right, let's re-blow up this Chevy Impala here.
Right.
Yeah.
Jimmy, go down to the car place and go buy yourself another
Yeah.
Impala. We
Go
need to blow
again
some shit up.
with our
Yeah.
with our budget.
So that was, so that even though that was a quick scene and it was like, oh no, poor guy, that was technically supposed to be Joe Lombardo, who
Mm-hmm.
he saw in the cotton candy.
Hmm.
So I guess it
That's
was just
interesting.
maybe a back, like,
Yeah, they're just like, let's beef it up a little
yeah,
bit because they
right.
showed more terrorizing going on from those clowns. So
Yes, they're just all over the place.
this poor man in the pharmacy is still on the phone with Officer Mooney as these clowns are, and now even more clowns
Right.
are in the pharmacy or the drugstore or whatever, and they're still knocking. Literally, like one of them literally picked up like baby powder and like started sniffing it and then sneezed and it went everywhere. Like they literally are leaving no crumbs. Like they are literally putting everything on the freaking floor.
There is
And
nothing left of this place.
no, there's literally nothing left. Just the shelves. All of the shelves are completely empty. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then the poor clerk guy, he's still on the phone with Officer Mooney, of course, shaking, because he's just watching all this
Yeah.
unfold. And then eventually we do end up hearing a noise and it kind of cuts off of that scene. We hear like some screaming, some noise, then nothing at all. So we can only assume that he is also in one of those cotton candy cocoons.
He's cotton candy.
Yeah.
So. We cut to Dave and Mike, and they have driven up to the top of the world. And Dave's like, "Oh, this is weird because all these cars are empty." And they pull up to one of the cars. It's like a Jeep. It looks like a Jeep. But again, these are 80s cars, so it could be something else. I don't know. I'm not good with cars, guys. Sorry. And it's like kind of covered in cotton candy a little bit, but then when he opens the door, Dave opens the door, and it is just all cotton candy everywhere. And there's a pair of glasses, and he picks up the glasses and he shows Mike, and Mike's like, "This is what I have been telling you. They are real. Like, believe me." So Dave's like, okay. And then he uncuffs him, still has to sit in the back of the
Yeah, he's still in the back of the cop car, though.
Still in the back, though.
He does not
like
have
him
front
that
seat
much.
privileges yet.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. They're going to try to head to get Debbie, is I think where they're trying to go. And then we cut to the police station again with Mooney. And he's getting a bajillion calls about clowns. And you just hear like little voices like, "My wife was taken away and cotton candy, turning to cotton candy. My wife was taken away in a balloon. Oh my God, they're here. They had pizza. They had this, and he's like, what are you talking about? What? And he's like, all these punks. I can't take these punks. This is ridiculous. It's the Terenzi brothers. It's got to be them. And he's like, it's definitely kids pranking. So he hangs up the phone, and then he's like, I'm not answering it anymore. Just lets it and then he just sits back and he lights a cigar and he starts reading the paper. That's what he decides he's going to do because of all these punks.
What a classy guy.
He
What
is
a classy policeman.
Ah,
Yeah, so Mike and Dave are heading back to Debbie's house, I think we can only assume.
I think so, yeah.
And this is when Debbie is seen back at her house and she's kind of just like stuck there because they wanted her to be safe. And then she decides that she wants to take a shower. Like she's removing all of these layers, and because in the 80s you're wearing 15 layers. So she's like taking off her first coat, then her second coat, but there's still popcorn stuck on a couple of like outside layers. So as she's taking these off again, I don't know why she didn't brush all the popcorn off of her. Maybe they just stuck to her.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then she ends up putting them in the hamper. Hamper has a lid, so she closes it. As she's stepping in the shower, it kind of zooms in onto the hamper, zooms up onto the floor, because of course there's some popcorn kernels also on the floor, which is again, why are we not picking that up? But you know, girl, you do you.
Yep.
And as they're panning to the hamper, we do see the hamper start to like shift or move a little bit, and then on the floor we also see the popcorn like kernels start to like move as well. So we're
Mhm.
seeing a little bit of movement with that, which is a little creepy.
Yeah, very creepy. Yep. And then we go back to Big Top Burger and we see some more clown shenanigans. One of the clowns opens up the dumpster and pours some popcorn in there, closes it, and we hear like a little and growling and it's moving back and forth. And then one of the employees comes and he puts a bag in there and he's like, what is that noise? And he looks in there and he sticks his hand in there and then he gets pulled in and you just hear like
Mm-hmm.
screams and so now you're kind of getting an idea of what the popcorn might be, like
Mm-hmm.
what might happen since her hamper's moving and everything.
Yeah, and we'll see that way more in depth in a little bit too, because Debbie takes a 45-minute shower because all of these other things happen in between, and then she just get we'll get to that.
Right.
Um, but one of my like favorite scenes in this, again, Mike and Dave are still driving around in the cop car trying to get it back into town. And we see a clown get dropped off at the bus station where a bunch of people are just waiting for the bus. It's probably like two couples and then some I don't know. This old lady notices the clown and the clown starts to do what clowns do and they want to amuse people. So then he starts with a shadow puppet show. But my favorite part about this is his hands are literally doing nothing to actually form any of these figures in the
He's like this.
the puppet show, because he's literally just like putting his hands and they just waving them around. But then they're just more complex animals. The first one's a cute little bunny that he can hop and move and all that stuff. And then it cuts into colonial soldiers on a boat. He's just forming all these completely
Yeah.
erratical things. And then ultimately he leaves with a T-Rex with glowing eyes. I don't know how he got the eyes to glow. Again, one of those things that it's just like, what the heck are we doing here?
Right.
He eventually will use that T-Rex to eat all of those people on the bench. And this is when Mike and Dave are driving by and they see this happen. And now Dave is like, oh crap, like you're actually right. Now I see this
Mhm.
for real. So now obviously we're all on board. But this is when they actually do see that. And then the clown just puts the people into his little purse that he brings around with his popcorn in it. So
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if they're like to feed the popcorn creatures or what's going. I don't
yeah,
know what because they're tiny now, so it's not like they can make them into cotton candy
that's true.
people. So maybe that was like food for the popcorn monsters or whatever they are.
Food for the week. Yeah.
But when Dave and Mike see this, Dave crashes the police car. Here, he's trying to like go after him and crashes the police car. And then we see the Terenzi brothers. Here they come with their
In their ice cream truck.
yeah, their ice cream truck like Pop Goes the Weasel, and it's coming, and they end up. It looks like they're running away from clowns. I don't know if they're actually running away from something or if they're just crazy
Mhm.
driving, but they also kind of like crash their vehicle as well. Um, then they all go into the ice cream
The
truck,
ice
right?
cream.
It didn't cause much damage to it.
Yeah.
So Mike and Dave jump into there and they're like, we need to go get Debbie. So they head off on to Debbie's house.
Yeah. And Debbie is still taking her shower.
Oh, yes. And I forgot. So Mike and Dave are like, we have to go get Debbie, and they're like, no, we don't want to go. We don't want to drive there.
Yeah, the brothers are
And
so lazy.
yes, and what does Mike tell the Terenzi brothers that gets them to go to Debbie's house?
So, what do you say to persuade these, I guess, teenage boys or
Horny
however old
teenage
they are?
boys.
Right. And he's like, okay, we got to go see Debbie. And they're like, oh man, come on. Like, and Mike is basically like, okay, but Debbie has two hot roommates and they have big boobs. Also, they love ice cream. And then the
Yes.
brothers are like, they dap each other up and they're like, we're in, man. Like this. He's like, all
Woo.
right, why didn't you say so? And then
Stepped
they
on the
start
gas.
going on their yes, exactly. Pedal to the metal. Um so again, we're kind of cutting to a different scene because now they're all on board and we know now that they are officially heading to Debbie's house. They're all in. But then we cut back to the police station again. Mooney is ignoring all of these phone calls and they're ringing off of the hook, right? So
Mhm.
like, and I don't know why, but there's 64 telephones in this police station when only the two of them work there.
Right.
So they're just all coming from different directions, right? So again, like my mom said before, like he kind of has his feet up on the desk, like he lit a cigar, he's reading the paper, he's so uninterested, like he's like, these people are just all punks and none of this is real. They're just trying to like prank me, you know what I'm saying? So then one of the clowns walks in and Mooney is just like, thinks that this is a complete joke. Like he's just like, okay, yeah, clown, great. Like now who's dressing up like a clown kind of thing.
Mhm.
And the clown gives him like a bouquet of flowers and then it sprays him with water. Again, classic clown fashion. All of these clowns kind of come equipped with all those things, which I actually think is kind of funny. And then Mooney, of course, is not very funny or humorous guy because he's like, oh, I'm just going to shoot you. And then instead he tells him to turn around and then handcuffs him. And then what really got me the most is the clown actually does turn around and put his hands behind his back and he
Yeah.
does end up handcuffing him. And then Mooney's basically like, oh, keep in mind these two guys from the beginning of the movie that, you
Right.
know, that he arrested before and put in the holding cell for
Mhm.
drinking wine in the park because
The
apparently,
punks.
yes,
Yeah.
the punks,
Punks.
that they were drinking Merlot in the park and taking a stroll. Like that's, you know, that's really offensive in Crescent Cove.
Listening to jazz, smooth jazz, just drinking some Merlot, minding their own
No,
damn
literally,
businesses.
those
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, there's no way those guys were listening to Barry Manilow while drinking their like Sauvignon Blanc or something like that. But he's handcuffing the clown, walks him to the holding cell, and kind of shoves him in there with them. So now those two little punk guys, and then this big clown is just sitting in this holding cell. And again, Moody thinks that he is just like the coolest, toughest guy or whatever, and
Mhm.
the clown pulls
He
out the little streamer thing.
the little, I think they're called, like, blowhorns. I don't the little, like,
Yes. So like when you breathe into it, it makes that noise and then they fully
comes out.
extend because they're
Yeah.
curled up when you first come. And then when he breathes out of it, instead of it just fully extending, it's like a hand that comes
Mhm.
in and grabs Mooney and by the neck and then he slams him against the bars of the jail cell. And then we know that he's knocked out and that'll come into play later.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so he's been knocked out by the
Mhm.
blowhorn. Blowhorn?
I
I
don't know
try
what those things are called.
honestly, I looked it
The
up on
people know what we're talking about. I
I looked
hope.
it up on Amazon and I'm like, "What are those blow things?" It's like, luckily I looked on Amazon and not Googled it because other
Yeah,
things
as I
probably
say,
would have
clear
come up.
your search history.
And it
Yes.
said blowhorn is what it said.
Okay.
I was like,
That
"Okay,
makes sense.
I'm sure there's 18,000 other names and I can't think
Yeah.
of it, but that's what I came up with was that's what Amazon told me. Dave is back at the police station and he's looking for Mooney, but all he sees is these big red clown feet. Looks like someone stuck them on the floor like stickers and they're really big. And he starts following them. And he's like, okay. And it goes back to the jail area.
Mhm.
And in the jail, he sees the two wine drinking punks listening to smooth jazz on a Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
Sees them hanging up and they're in the cotton candy.
Mhm.
They're cotton candy. So but there's no clown, just the two guys, no Mooney, no clown, just the two guys that have been turned into cotton candy. And he comes back to where his desk is and everything, and he sees a clown with Mooney on his lap, and Mooney looks like a puppet or a dummy, if you
Mhm.
will. And the clown is the ventriloquist. And remember when Mooney said, "You can let them make a dummy out of you, but I'm not going to let them make a dummy out of me." Guess what he
Who's the dummy
is?
now?
Yep.
Yes.
Who's the dummy now? All he says is, "We just want to kill you." That's
Mhm.
what Mooney says, you know. And then the clown just like pulls his arm out of his back, and it's all like bloody and then
Ugh.
Mooney just goes,
Yeah, it swaps over.
and he had like the red blood here to make it look like it was like a puppet mouth and
Mhm.
everything like that. But yeah. So bye Mooney, you were made a
Yeah.
dummy of. Yep. Careful what you wish for.
I was gonna say after that scene, obviously then Officer Dave and the clown
Mhm.
are just kind of by themselves after that point. In the little is Mike with them? I don't even remember. Mike is
Mike's
so
with the
unforgettable.
Terenzi. He's with the
He's
Terenzi
with the
brothers
brothers.
trying to go get Debbie because she has
Debbie.
the two roommates that are totally hot with big boobs and love ice
Right.
cream. Yes.
Right. Okay, yeah.
And and
So
Da- and Dave is after this whole clown thing. Dave
mhm,
so the clown, I totally forgot this part.
yeah.
Um so the clown gets up towards after Mooney drops. The clown gets up and comes after Dave. And Dave starts shooting him. And he's shooting him and it's not doing anything. And he finally shoots him in the nose. And once he shoots him in the nose, he literally blows up. It's like
Mhm.
sparkles.
I say it's literally like
Yeah,
confetti is coming out
confetti.
of
Yeah.
him.
And he's like, oh my God, I have to go get Debbie. So he's worried about Debbie. So we've got him going to find Debbie. The Trenzi brothers with Mike
Mhm.
are also going to find Debbie. And it cuts to Debbie at her house.
Yeah. So again, Debbie is taking her 45-minute shower, right? Because all of this stuff has happened. Like Moody is dead. The punks are dead. You had to persuade the Terenzi brothers with the roommates, all of this stuff. Like all this stuff has happened. And Debbie is now just getting out of the shower. So as she's getting into the she's getting out of the shower, she's getting dressed, all this stuff here, and then we remember that the hamper was moving. They had the little kernels on the floor that were moving as well.
Mhm.
And now we know that those kernels now make little mini kind of clowns that are biters. Okay, so Debbie is kind of getting, I don't want to say like getting like thrown around her bathroom, but like in the sink, like the clown comes out of the like the one little, it kind of looks like Petey Piranha from the Super Mario Brothers because it has like the really long neck, but it's just like the mouth and
Yeah,
like
it's
the
just a
eyes and
clown. It's
stuff.
like yeah, it's
It's
like
just like the
this
clown
big.
head,
Mhm.
basically. Yeah, it's like a shrunken head. So she's getting bit and then she gets to her mirror and then two of them come out there and she's getting bit, right? So she's just kind of getting knocked all around. But good thing it's the 80s because what is so nearby on her vanity? Her hairspray. And then she starts hairspraying these clowns and that's what gets them to get off of her basically. And then she can get out of the bathroom safely. And then she kind of keeps moving around her house, but we'll get to that in a little bit
Mhm.
here. And then as this is all happening, right, then they cut to Mike and then the Terenzi brothers are
Mhm.
driving through trying to get to Debbie because they're worried about Debbie. Who isn't worried about Debbie in this movie,
Right.
honestly? Because even hot officer Dave is worried about Debbie.
Yep.
And they run into this clown parade and what I mean parade is they are literally like they have the little Zamboni that's like sucking up the cotton candy cocoons like
Mhm.
by the hour
Yeah.
because they're just knocking down everybody that they could possibly see in the streets. So there's all of these clowns in the streets. And then we see this poor guy hiding under the car.
Mhm.
But this random guy is literally hiding under a car and he literally doesn't wait 2 seconds for the clown to be turned around and he starts to run for it and then he gets caught because he doesn't even wait any time. Like if you're
Yeah.
hiding for your life, wouldn't you wait until the coast is clear?
They
This man
didn't
is just
see him.
booking it. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. So
until he moved, and then he ran away and he became cotton candy.
yeah, and it was like in 4 seconds he became cotton candy.
Yeah,
So this
they
poor guy.
like 30 clowns past him not knowing that he's under this car. Dude, just stay
Right.
there. Just stay there.
Right.
Don't make a run for it, but he made a run for it. Now he's cotton candy.
Yeah. And
So
now these Terenzi brothers, this is like the first time they're seeing something like this because we remember Dave and Mike were the only ones that saw the truck stop or the bus stop thing
mhm.
that happened. So now
Yeah.
the Terenzi brothers are like, oh crap, you're actually not lying. And then they like speed off. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And then so we're back at Debbie's house after she survived the bathroom little guys, and she goes into her living room and she hears a knock on the door, and it's on the other side. It's the voice says, "It's Mike. Open the door." So Debbie, of course, is like, "Oh, Mike's here. Okay, good." So she opens the door and it's a clown. So she like manages to close the door, but they're fighting through the door. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna jump out the window. So she goes to the window, opens the window, goes to jump out, and there's like four of them waiting with one of those
Ah.
trampoline things. So she's like, crap, I can't do that. And there's only two ways out. It's the window or the door. And the clowns fight their way in. She's trying to get out, and they throw Debbie
Mhm.
against the couch. She flies across the room and goes into the couch, and the one shoots her with a gun. Now, he doesn't shoot her with a cotton candy gun, he shoots her with a balloon gun, which means that she's inside a balloon. She's still alive, but she's going to run out of oxygen.
Mhm.
It seems that they turn certain people into balloons versus most people into the cotton candy. At that time, everybody pulls up. Mike and the Terenzi brothers, Dave, they all see them, and they see them getting into the car, and they have Debbie with them in the balloon. So
Mhm.
they're like, "Oh, great! Now we got to go save Debbie."
But they're always 4 steps behind. So then we cut back into an amusement park where now is the new station because remember their
Mhm.
big hole in the ground where the field was with the old farmer and stuff is no longer there. So now it's in an actual amusement park so they can hide themselves a little bit better
Mhm.
and kind of camouflage themselves. And this guard who's getting probably paid nothing to just sit in an abandoned amusement park for the night. And he's just waiting, and he's got his little flashlight and everything. And then he sees all of these clowns get out of a small car, of course, very comical because they want to fit in with clowns. Um, and with their encounter, he's just like, hey, like, what are you guys doing here? And then eventually they just get sick and tired of him and they just start throwing pies at him because, again, they're always doing some comical things. So they're throwing the pies at them and then it actually ends up melting his body.
Mhm.
So that's kind of that's not good. But as they move in the tent, it's kind of funny too because the little clown guy just puts a little cherry on top of the
Yes.
what's left of the whipped
He's like,
cream and him melting his body. He's like just a perfect touch. Yes.
and then Dave, Mike, and the Terenzi brothers, they get to the tent because they've been following the clowns, and they're looking for Debbie inside the tent. And it's just a big. It looks pretty much the same as it did when Mike and Debbie first went into it. Dave tells them that the way to kill them is to shoot them in the nose or pop their
Mm,
nose. They're walking through this, and of course the Terenzi brothers are always mischievous, and they're pushing buttons on this one thing, and then Dave and Mike are walking ahead of them, and the Terenzi brothers fall through the floor,
mhm.
and they fall into this ball pit. Yeah, and like something you find at
Like at the
the
Chuck E. Cheese or something
old
like
school
that.
McDonald's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and when they pan to them in the ball pit, we see two larger female clowns. It looks like they're just sticking their feet like it was water, but it's only
Mhm.
it's only a ball pit. Like they're just like, and they're like hee 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 hee. And then the Trenzy brothers get up and they look at the ladies and they go, "Are you Debbie's roommates?" And then the clown girls look at each other and giggle, and then that's it. That's all we see of them.
No,
So
it's
we're like,
actually so funny because as the Terenzi brothers are they fall in this ball pit, right? And then they look up, the boobs are literally inflating on these clowns.
yes.
Like it's really like it's like if you would like hook up like an inflatable mattress almost. Like that's the
Mhm.
sound it made. And they're are you Debbie's roommates? Like
Mates.
and then
Yep.
yeah. I think that's so funny.
It is really cute.
But so they're like, "Ah, we lost him, whatever." They just keep going. And Dave and Mike go into that cotton candy room to look for Debbie because they're like, "Oh, we don't want it
Mhm.
to be too late, right?" But then eventually a clown comes in, so then they hide behind the little cotton candies. And the clown eventually chooses one of those cotton candies and then sticks a curly straw into one of them. So that's what my mom has. She's got her little straw. No curly straw,
No
but she's got a
curly
straw in
straw.
there.
Yeah.
And then they end up drinking blood from it, and then it makes them feel drunk, kind
Yeah,
of
okay.
drunk on the blood.
He was tipsy. Yeah, he was tipsy. He was like kinda
He's
like,
just feeling
"Oh,
himself. Right.
oh." So I feel like it made him drunk. So that's like their vodka room.
Right. But as this is all happening, right, they're just trying to hide and then eventually Dave and Mike do see the balloon that Debbie is in. And Dave shoots
Mhm.
at the balloon and Debbie comes out and she's okay and of course he wants to be the savior because I think that he still is in love with Debbie. And
Mhm.
she's like, "Oh, I couldn't breathe. I was running out of oxygen." She probably didn't have much time left, so that was perfect timing for them.
Yep. And then because of the gunshot, more clowns are starting to
Uh-huh.
come find them, so they make a run for it, and Dave shoots one of the clowns in the nose and kills it. They're running through, like, this, like, balloon room, which is not the same as just little balloons
Uh-huh.
like you'd find. They're getting through that, the clowns are following them, he shoots another clown in the nose, it explodes. Then they get to a door, and they open the door, and there's a smaller door, and they open this door, and it's a smaller door, and they open one of those, and they keep going, and the clowns are coming, and they finally get through, and they go into the door, and they climb in, and it's in this ginormous room. And this is when I think this is when all the clowns find them in the room. Am I correct on that?
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
so they're basically surrounded by these clowns. Yeah.
mm, yep. And then there's like a not like a stage, but it's kind of like a
It's a raised up platform kind
yeah,
of
and it's like
thing.
got
Yeah.
steps to it that they
Hmm.
have to climb up on. And Dave, Mike, and Debbie are climbing slowly up because all these clowns have weapons, but they don't have any of the
Hmm.
guns. No guns. They're all just
Yeah.
like gonna beat you weapons, bats, and stuff like that. And so they're climbing higher and higher. The clowns are coming up, and they're basically surrounded and ready to meet their end. And what happens?
So then, as this happens, then we see the Terenzi brothers again, and they drive their ice cream truck very recklessly, like through the wall. So now this truck has been through a lot, right? It's been rear-ended by Dave's police car. It's been in car crashes before. So now eventually this car is donezo, but they come in to save the day. But my favorite part about this is that these brothers are covered in oversized lipstick, like kiss marks,
Uh-huh.
and like their clothes are kind of like torn and ripped apart. So you just
With
know that they were
kisses.
at, yes, with kisses. So you just know they were having a grand old time with Debbie's roommates,
Roommates.
you know. Um, and basically they go on their loudspeaker because they have that megaphone kind of con on the ice cream truck, and they start kind of saying like, "Oh, you will obey me and leave these people alone."
Hmm.
Those kind of things on the loudspeaker, and these clowns are basically like stunned. They're just distracted, and then Mike, Debbie, and Dave can get into the ice cream truck because those clowns, like, while the Terenzi brothers are saying these things, they don't move or anything like that. Um, but then all of a sudden, as they finally get into the ice cream truck and all these clowns are kind of still stunned, then all the clowns look up, and there is like the King Kong of all killer clowns coming down from the ceiling.
Also known as Clownzilla.
Mhm, mhm. Oh, perfect.
That is
Love
his
that.
actual name is
Oh,
Clownzilla.
wait, really? Oh,
Yes,
crazy.
yes, I did not make that up. That is
She's like, on
Clownzilla.
IMDb, it's Clownzilla. I
It's
want to
called
know who the voice of Clownzilla
he
was.
is credited as Clownzilla, okay?
Oh, I love that. I love.
Um, so
There is
at
no
this
actor so small.
yeah,
No actor too small.
I mean, at this time, they're all trying to go in the car, and now they see Clownzilla, and they're like, "Oh crap!" So Mike, Debbie, and Dave get out of the car, and the Clownzilla grabs the ice cream truck with the Terenzi brothers in it, throws it against the wall, and it blows up. And so Dave tells Mike, "Get Debbie. You and
Mhm,
Debbie get out of here." And Debbie's like, "No, we can all make it." And he goes, "No, Debbie, you get out of here. You and Mike go. Take her." And they go and they get out. And then Dave is basically distracting Clownzilla. He's shooting at him, and Debbie and Mike make a getaway. They get out through the hole that Clownzilla left by throwing the truck.
mhm,
And so Dave is trying to distract him by shooting at him. And of course, he goes after Dave. He grabs Dave, and he's getting ready to crush Dave or eat him or something.
mhm,
And Dave, of course, he's out of bullets now,
mhm.
and he takes his badge, which is a pin, and he pops the nose of Clownzilla, and Clownzilla literally blows up. The whole place blows up. The whole tent. It's already the tent has taken off while
Mhm.
Dave was fighting with the Clownzilla. So Dave's still in the tent, the ice cream truck, everything's still in the tent, and it takes off into space, but then it blows up. Everything just blows up, and then all of a sudden we see a clown car fall
Mhm.
from the sky. And the clown car opens, and it's Dave. Dave is okay. So, of course, Debbie's very excited. Mike was
Mhm.
excited.
Sure.
And that's not all. Who else is in the car?
No, so when all of this explosion stuff happened and with the ice cream truck exploding, they thought that the Terenzi brothers exploded in the car with it,
Mm,
right? So that's why Dave was like, "No, you guys go. Like it's too late for them. It's too late for me. Like let me deal with this, whatever."
mhm.
So Dave we know is in the clown car, right? But the Terenzi brothers are also in the clown car, our kings, our saviors.
Yes.
And they're like, "Wait, we thought you died. Like, what the heck happened to you?" And they're like, "Oh no, we hid in the freezer with all the ice cream." And they're also eating ice cream as they're just talking about how they literally, were fighting for their lives in the freezer. So I thought that was so funny because they're always so unserious. Like they could literally be watching all this stuff happen and
Yeah.
they're just so unserious. They're amazing.
They're like,
Great
"Oh, a
comic reliefs.
ginormous clown," or, "Oh, well. Oh, I just got picked up by a clown and thrown against a wall. Oh, well." Yeah, they're
Yeah.
very yeah, very very nonchalant about everything.
No, right. And just like a great, amazing ending to any movie. It cuts back and then Debbie, of course, is like, "Do we think that this is all over? Like, do you think that it's safe now?" And Mike is just like, "Sure," reassuring. It's great. And then we just have a couple pies fall from the sky and then they all get hit in the face with a
In the
pie.
face with
And
a
that's the
pie.
end.
Yeah. Yep,
That's
the
the end.
end.
In true
The end.
clown fashion. The end.
Yes.
Finn.
Yes. And then yeah, and then cue the amazing song Killer Clowns from
Oh,
Outer
great
Space.
song. Yeah, great song.
Uh, so that's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's just, um, not I would say not my most enjoyable movie that I've seen, but it does as a kid, it has, uh, meaning to me, and as I was at a sleepover and I was not allowed to watch any scary movies. If it was PG-13, I had to wait till I was 13 to watch it. So
Mhm.
I was not I knew nothing about scary movies. So of course they wanted to watch a scary movie and Killer Clowns from Outer Space was the movie and I watched it and I remember being in my sleeping bag and I covered my head and fell asleep while I was literally suffocating myself. So of course I woke up screaming and, like, they had to like, these girls had to console me and be like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh," so I was such an embarrassment because this was, like, 7th or 8th grade, still a total
That's
nerd.
old.
Oh, I'm so nerdy. Yeah, I mean, it's 6, maybe 6 or so it
I
had
know,
to
but
be
you're
junior high.
suffocating with yourself.
Yeah, because I was hiding, and it had so tight,
Yeah.
when you fall
Well,
asleep and
those
you only have
cotton
so much
candy
air.
guns are scary. I
Yes,
was more
and
scared of the clown's teeth. Like, none of them had a dental plan. I don't know what was going on, but it was not good.
that was my first scary movie, and even though now I watch it today and I'm like, "Are
Mhm.
you serious, Katie?" And the funny thing is, you know, all the scary movies I've seen, like Sleepaway Camp, all the Jason movies, the Freddy movies, those movies, those scared the hell out of me. But when I watch Exorcist, it doesn't scare me at
Mhm.
all. I have 0 nightmares about it, like, it didn't scare me at all, which is super weird because that's the one that should scare me because
Right,
that's, like,
right.
more realistic than Freddy coming in your dreams and, or Jason has his head chopped off 12 times still
Yeah,
coming
and The
at you.
Exorcist has, like, crazy true stuff behind
Mhm.
it, like, from that film. Like, with all the actors and stuff like that and, like, people that worked on set like, that stuff scares me. So I don't know how that did not scare you, but
I
that's
don't know, my
crazy.
brain is just yeah,
Right.
who knows? It just thinks that
The
there's
cotton
like
candy guns are really
and
scary, I
I'm not
understand.
afraid of clowns, so that's not the
Mm.
thing. I wasn't afraid of clowns. It just was like, I don't want to be turned into cotton candy. I don't want to be turned into, I don't want to be a balloon
Yeah,
and
I don't wanna be in a
suffocate.
balloon.
Yeah,
That is kinda scary, yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of my memory
Mhm.
of super nerdy Katie being scared of everything because I didn't get to, I wasn't
You had to wait until you were
like
13 to watch E.T. I get it.
yes.
I
Yeah,
understand.
right. And like you and your brother,
And I
I
was
let
watching Family Guy when I was, like, 6 years old,
and
so
I let you watch scary movies when you were like 5
Mhm.
or 6, but I would explain to you, "See this man? He's just a man in a mask. He's playing pretend." and that kind of numbed you a little bit to,
Oh
oh, because
yeah,
I
that's
remember
why
you're cute.
Freddy vs. Jason was one of my favorite movies growing up.
You loved it because you were like, these two men are in masks and they're beat each other up. It's funny. You kind of like were introduced to it as like a funny thing of like,
Yeah,
where I just wasn't introduced to it at all. And I was like, this is
right.
scary. This must all be real. I don't know. I don't know what to believe. So yeah, but that is my my background with Killer Clowns from Outer Space. But I do have some fun facts. So about Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which is a cult classic. Um, so the movie had a $2 million budget. It grossed $1,412 worldwide. And most of it was spent on production costs. And the clowns and visual effects were almost entirely created by the filmmakers at very little cost. So
Which is
most of it
really
was spent on that.
impressive because those clowns were all different and dressed up to the T.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever did that, they did an amazing job.
Yep. The theme song, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, was written and performed by the Dickies. And they made the song without even seeing the movie. So they had not seen the movie and they just made a theme song for it.
I mean, it fits. I love it.
Obviously not a hit when it came out, only making $1,412.
Yeah.
But it has since become a cult classic and made revenue in action figures, DVDs, and T-shirts, as well as an assortment of animatronics and other decorations from Spirit Halloween. So it's still making money. It's still like,
Yeah.
there's
Nickel and
still,
dime.
yes. They had like a video game. I remember there was a video game, maybe a couple video games about it. Just one of those cult classic, like, oh, I found this clown figurine. It's cool. It's from Killer
Yeah.
Clowns. I'm going to put it on my desk at work.
Very
Or,
nostalgic.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those nostalgic things. The popcorn gun included a compressor inside that would fire real popcorn, and it was the most expensive prop, costing $7,000
Huh.
and took 6 weeks to make. So they wanted that to be real. So it really did
That's
shoot
cool.
real popcorn. So when it was shooting, it was really working.
That's
Many
crazy.
characters in the film, including Mike Tobacco, the Terenzi brothers, and Joe Lombardo, were real names and based on real childhood friends of the Chiodo brothers. I hope I pronounced it right. And Mike Tobacco was known to bring girls to make out point with champagne in his glove compartments and have a raft in the back seat. So he was.
Wait, stop. What an
Yes,
icon.
that
He
is
must
the
have been a
truth.
ladies' man. That's crazy.
So that's why they included that little bit in the movie, because that was his thing. And the Terenzi brothers really did rent an ice cream truck, believing that it would get them chicks.
That's insane.
That
I
is
mean,
awesome.
you have me fooled. Like, I love ice cream, so like I guess you're not supposed to get in a van with strangers, but if it's people that go to your high school and they own a ice cream truck, like I'm also want ice cream, so I get
Yep.
that. I get the
That's what they were
appeal.
hoping. Yes, they were hoping the
That's
girls
so
would be in the
funny.
back eating all the ice cream and then would take their shirts off. And
The fact that these things are real is crazy to me. I love
I
that.
know.
I actually that makes it even better. Like that makes it 10 times better.
Yes, and I do feel, I feel bad for Joe Lombardo, because he was supposed to have a better scene, a more like theatrical blow up scene, and then he
Yeah.
just was some guy that they accidentally ran into and knocked the cotton candy off his face, and it was his face. That was
Yeah.
kind of sucky. But
And he was just known as the guy with glasses. So
yeah.
I
So
felt bad for him.
that was more the studio doing that, like,
Yeah, like the Terenzi
Mhm.
brothers, like when they're watching this, they're like, "Oh yeah, we were the best people in that movie. We
How
had the best
fun.
part."
How fun.
That
And
is so cool.
when I saw the name Mike Tobacco, I was like, oh, come on. How lazy can you be in making a character's name? That's his real name, Mike Tobacco.
Oh, I love that.
And now that I know that's his real name, great name, Mike Tobacco.
Yeah, honestly, good job.
And then while I was searching the main characters, like you had told me before, Deb was in Weird Science as Deb,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
She was the
Debbie.
one person in this film that I was like, I have seen her from something because
Mhm.
again, we love 80s, early 90s movies in our household.
Mhm.
and she's from Weird Science, but this poor girl is typecast as Debs, only Debs. Like,
Depths, yeah.
yeah, so she's Debbie from Weird, or she's Deb from Weird Science, and then she's Debbie from
Debbie.
this movie. So I
Mhm.
thought that was kind of funny that she's like literally typecasted as Debbie.
So, of course, Mooney was Dean Wormer from
Right, from Animal House.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we already knew that. And so I'm searching the Mike Tobacco character who played him. I forgot what his name was. I think it was Kramer, something Kramer.
Mhm.
And so I look at his IMDb list, and his next film that he's working on is The Return of the Killer Clowns from Outer Space in 3D, and it said it's in production. And it is the Chiodo brothers. Again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that.
Oh, that's
Um,
amazing.
Doing it again. So technically 2028 would be the 30 years because it was
Mhm.
no, it'd be 40 years, right? Because if it was
What was
1988,
it?
right?
88? Yeah.
That would be 40
Then
years.
it'd be 40. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So it looked like
Wow,
it
what a
it looked like
return.
it says, yeah, but it's like, was it supposed to be made 10 years ago? And it just looks like it's stuck. It says
Maybe.
it's in production and it's only the Mike Tobacco guy that is in the cast.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that's just something that's been stuck in production for 15 years and it's kind
Right.
of like the Channing Tatum as
It's Gambit
Gambit.
or
Yeah, how
yeah,
that was supposed
yeah.
to happen and then it never happened and then he got to
And
lose.
then he had a cameo and yeah.
Yeah. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen that.
Oh, that's from years ago.
I
It's
know.
fine. It's not
Once
that it's like
once it's been out for a couple years,
once
you're
it's
on your
on
own spoilers.
DVD or on
Yeah.
streaming services, then it's fine.
Yes. Yep. So those are the super fun facts of killer clowns from outer space,
I love
and
it. So fun.
explains my outfit of cotton candy and a straw. So, um, but we want to do so. Of course, this is October, so we want to do scarier movies. We are going to do next. I'm really excited for next week because I love this movie so much. We are going to be doing Monster Squad.
Ugh, amazing.
It is on Prime Video, so if you have not seen that, please go see it.
Watch it.
It's really a fun movie. It's really
It
well
is.
made. I really do enjoy that movie, and I'm really excited to go over it next week.
Mhm.
But yeah, hopefully you guys will be joining us next week. We want to thank you, of course, for if you're joining us for the third time, thank you for sticking with us. We are slowly trying to get better and better at this. We appreciate any kind of feedback you have, hopefully positive. Like us, follow us, subscribe. YouTube, we're on YouTube as well. Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Mhm.
Anything you could do to help the show would be
Yeah,
greatly
any streaming
appreciated.
services. And
Yeah.
as always, if you ever want us to cover anything, then always make a comment because we are
Mhm.
so open to covering anything because we love movies, we love any kind of media in our household, so
Mhm.
we're open to anything. But as always, this is Butterscotch Rewatch, and I am Ireland, the Gen Z daughter.
And I am Katie, the Gen X mother. And thanks, guys. We'll hopefully catch you next week.
Bye.